So this evening, it's May 21st, 2018. It's about 6:08. And first item up would be the change on the agenda. We've got approval of minutes. We've got the Opera House update. Polly will inform us about the policy on tax civilization and an update on the new planning bylaws. We'll have Joey Clark, Susie Hall-Parent, and Henry Newberg. Are there any other additions that you'd like to add?
I think Mr. Newberg.
So, looks like we're going to have a guest by the name of Roger Langevin as a person of interest. We'll, needless to say, we're not able to approve the minutes of our previous meeting due to lack of
Quorum.
But
we can approve the minutes prior. The April 16th minutes. And I have looked them over and I move to approve.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table to...
Second.
There's a second. Looks like all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passed. All right. So with that being said, we'll welcome Mr. Langevin and
Come on in.
introduce yourself.
Okay. Just to facilitate things, I'll sit over on this side.
Yeah.
My name's Roger Langevin. I'm running for Franklin County Sheriff. I'm a retired Vermont State Trooper. I retired as a Detective Sergeant in the Intel Division my last couple of years. What the Intel Division did is we collected information on crimes throughout the state, and we would organize that information and send it back out to advance cases and lead to successful prosecutions. Prior to that, I was a patrol commander for the Vermont State Police for 7 years out of the St. Albans Barracks, where I supervised those troopers that were working on shift. And prior to that, of course, I was a road trooper, and I worked in the St. Albans, Williston, and Lamoille counties as a trooper. I'm here tonight because I feel very strongly that the Sheriff's Department's going in a good direction right now, and I'd like to keep it going in a good direction. And also my vision is to increase it. I'd like to see them do more active patrols, utilizing intel, knowing that each community is different and knowing what the needs are for those communities. When they're out on patrol, directly address those needs. We used to do that when I was with the state police. The St. Albans Police recently has started doing something very similar in their street crimes unit, and it's very successful. Getting a lot of positive response to that, and I'd like to carry that. My experience brings me in with St. Albans Police, where I'm currently with them. I've been with them the last 4 years since I've retired. I'm currently working in the schools, assigned as a school resource officer. I'm in the elementary schools, and my passion is kind of for the elementary schools because that's where you can really influence positive behaviors. You know, by the time the kids get into high school, their mindset is already set. But we can do a lot of drug work where we can advise kids against drugs at an early age. And we seem to be doing that earlier and earlier. We're down into the 3rd and 4th grades now when we start. And I think that's going to pay huge dividends in the future. But I'd like to see more school resource officers. I said that well before a lot of these incidents that are happening. I just think they're a worthy investment for towns. Because there's a lot of family issues out there as well that we can address from within the school. Kids have a lot of problems from families being broken families, and we can really help settle a lot of things from the schools, working together with law enforcement. So that's essentially my pitch. I started with the Sheriff's Department back in the early 80s. As a part-timer, I remember coming up here to the Hotel Quincy when they had events. Also Corky's in Montgomery, so I'm kind of dating myself here. But, you know, a great experience. I mean, it's...
You still want to come back.
Things have changed. As a trooper, we used to respond to the snowshoe quite often. It's a long way out there. But yeah, and I'd love to sit down and sometimes discuss, what the issues are here and how they should be addressed. I know you have a contract with the sheriff's department. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see every town have a contract. Simply because when you get aggressive in one town, you're going to push the crime to another town that has less police presence.
That's kind of what we have kind of been batting around as far as like how to utilize our contract in like a flexible way, as far as, because you don't want your cake and eat it too. Like you don't want coverage, but you don't want to pay for it, right? And so, or that the purse strings can be really tight, but you don't want to limit your coverage. And so, kind of looking at the calendar and saying, with like, I guess your intel background, like, are there stronger months where more presence is needed, less months, so that you can kind of flexibly? Because I think our contract now is pretty much like this time, this many hours. It's so rigid that is there ways we can kind of work flexibly with the contract? So
I personally think there should be.
Right.
Because you can look at your record management system and find out approxally when your crimes are happening.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to tailor before they start and pretty much when they end to where you do your patrols.
Right.
And you want to be proactive. You want to build a lot of community support. You want people picking up the phone and giving you tips on, hey, I think I know who did that burglary.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And if officers are doing a good job, they'll come up with 5 names on an incident. And they'll have the person in one of those 5 names. Now they just need to narrow it down and get
Right.
that. And that's why we used to work with the community policing effort.
Right.
But technology is a great thing, and it's 50% of what we do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're guilty of sitting too long in the car. We're going to be out talking to people.
Right.
That's where you get your greatest source of information.
But I guess ours is more of like that kind of ebb and flow of schedule and how that might affect our budget, like it would,
And you do have a school resource officer here in Enosburgh. which
Well,
is
that
good.
was kind of one of the issues is, cause I'm also on the school board, so
Right.
if you go there, I'll see you there too. But, is this idea that I think in the summertime where you have your school resource office, but you're also paying for coverage as well, and it's like, is that really the time when we need the most boots on the ground, and we're paying for both?
Right.
Is it a way to kind of like make an assessment of what's most cost effective, but still get good coverage, I guess,
Right. The difficult thing, and nobody has a crystal ball, is if something happens at school and you pulled that officer out of the school.
Right.
This
Or
is
I'm thinking
pulling
summer
out of
months.
school. This is-
I'm thinking
summer
summer
months.
months, yeah.
Summer months, I go back on patrol.
Yeah.
And so does the officer who's working the
Right,
school.
right, right,
Um,
right.
But the one here goes, it's like the school hours patrol.
Mhm.
So that's
And
what we're
just
saying, is there
have-
flexibility, instead of like the daytime, could we move it?
Right, well, I know I'm filling a
Yeah.
need, I'm filling the need of the department.
Right.
Where I'm needed, I go in the summertime.
Right.
It amounts to like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, before
Right.
you're back at school and doing
Right.
some prep for the following
And looking
year.
at it at a time, like for instance, like if we know that, would Franklin need more coverage during this time and we could pull back, like, I guess that flexibility, and I'm,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. And this Saturday, I've been going around towns and doing coffee with the candidate. I fit St. Albans, Franklin, and Richford, and I'll be doing Enosburgh at the Maple Fields here this Saturday from 8
nice.
to 10. Just to get out and about and meet some of the locals and drum up some interest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good.
I think your intel side of that, working not just the traffic crimes, but all the other stuff.
Right, exactly.
Very.
So in a sense, you're running for election
Yeah, the sheriff.
for the sheriffs. Yep.
Right, yep.
So
Yep, and I want,
Bill.
people to direct these patrols and stuff, but not to minimize motor vehicle work, because that's,
Right.
everybody commits a crime has a vehicle, basically.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Drugs are transported
Yeah,
in cars.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it goes hand in hand.
Yeah. But your ability to like look at the big picture is good too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, every community is different. So
Yeah.
your needs might not be like Franklin's.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
And I was talking with some of the, Bill Mayo, who owns the store up there, and they get a lot of illegal aliens that come
Yeah.
through there and stuff. And his store is very well known for making quality reports to the Intel division.
Right, right,
And they've
right.
actually picked up a couple of really hardcore terrorists.
Wow.
So he's done a good job as
well, they
far
won't
as
be
like,
stopping here now.
communicating.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And he sells Honey Crisp apples, which I kind of like.
He what?
Sells Honey Crisp apples, which
Yeah, he's a great little story. Really enjoy it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well, super.
great. Great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right,
great meeting. Thank you for
Coming in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll leave you the cards.
Okay, yeah, we'll
Okay.
put them up front.
All right then. So our next item of business was the Opera House update, and are we waiting for a person, or we're going to
Well, you
read?
can
Well,
wait for them to have
Joey's-
Joey come in. 'cause he's-
Okay, so we'll
Joey's
skip
here.
over and, Joey, Mike, you're on.
I'm back.
Hey, I could be wrong, but I think the Beatles are back.
No, really.
I think so.
Huh.
In your
In my bridge, I think there's some new holes.
Yeah.
But
Some
I could be
sawdust
wrong.
on the floor.
Not the sawdust, so that's why I'm like, maybe they're old ones, but you patched all those ones, I
Yeah.
felt like.
Yeah.
So maybe take a look-see.
Yeah. I think the last time when we actually got around, somebody was going to do something with it. They were gone.
Oh. Yeah, there's one pretty significant hole in a beam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to get somebody to spray it if it is. I think the last time by the time we got around to spray it, or the state notified us.
They were gone?
Yeah, Orkin or wherever, they went, took a look at it and they said, well, they're not there anymore, so. But, yeah, they're coming back.
Well, they can chew it right to the ground if they want, I just have to be home when they do it.
I'll be, find a place to get across the brook, yeah, just right down.
I think she'd also probably add, summer has to have started.
Yes. What you got?
Paving prices that we talked about last time, and, I don't know, you guys probably get this too.
Yep.
I
Some
didn't, I wasn't
recommendations
here
from
last
towns
year and I did see it.
for
For
the
those people that
Hutchins.
you wanted? Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know if it's the ones really that they wanted.
Oh, but people
There
that
have
did.
three prices, Pikes, FW Whitcomb, and Hutchins. Hutchins is a fairly new company, and they've got a lot of Pikes ex-employees working for them, I guess, and they're starting up a new plant in Enosburgh. So after the 1st of July, the mix would be coming from their place.
Those are some good recommendations.
Did you talk to them about their mix? About, I know you said.
Yeah.
Is it, which one didn't you like?
I don't care for Whitcomb's mix.
Whitcomb's.
And these guys use Whitcomb's or Pikes, whatever the price is
Yeah.
better for them, wherever. I think what it is, a lot of times when they contact Pikes or Whitcomb to get a price for a mix to do a certain job, it depends upon if Pike or Whitcomb wants to do the job. If they want to do it themselves, they give them a high price,
Yeah.
so they get the job. If they're really busy and they say, but these guys have this job, they put the price down.
It's not nice.
So, yeah. So after the 1st of July, I guess it would be their own mix. That's pending that their plant is up and running like they're planning on being. But I didn't know. I mean, these are good recommendations, and I think they're good people, and I'm sure everything's going to be fine. I just don't know with their plant. There probably is going to be some bugs to work out in the mix. And I don't know what their mix is going to be either. Maybe there'll be some trial and error of that too. Figuring out what works
Right.
better. And so I noticed that the prices.
Would there be something in some kind of contract that says something about the mix? If the mix doesn't meet specifications kind of thing?
It's supposed to meet certain specifications
Yeah.
for any state work.
Oh, okay.
When it comes to town work, I don't know. There's
Right.
girls that could cut
I
some
wonder if
corners.
there's something
They're
you
not
could put
supposed to. They
that-
probably don't.
That says something like must meet state specifications or something. I don't know.
Probably a lot of some of their wording may be right here.
Hello. How's it going?
So anyways, the prices, so Hutchins was the cheapest at $66 a ton. Pike was $66.30. Whitcomb was $66.26. So there's not a lot of difference here either way.
So what is there, like a
Sunrise.
$6,000 difference
Yeah,
on the
but-
total bill? Is that what it was? Wasn't
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
with it.
I know about that.
It could even be that. It's 18, this is dead.
Yeah.
Ha!
1,600 yards or something?
1,872 ton.
You said this was six grand? No, 66
$66.30.
on Hutchins.
Yeah. No, on
Pike.
pipe. Hutchins was 66 even.
Even, that's what I was, okay.
So 1,872
One and then
ton
log in.
times 30
Oh,
cents.
you have to touch the word login.
$500. $560.
Between this and that?
Yeah,
One, two.
between Pikes and Hutchins. Whitcomb's a little bit less, but like I said, I don't have.
You don't love that
I
one?
don't like their mix. They do good work and
Yeah.
they're good people, but I don't know, their mix doesn't seem good. I'm not the only town that said that either.
And this 66 versus 6630, that's on the whole job, or that's just the mix?
That's on the whole
Oh,
job.
okay.
That's them
It says
applying.
add paper.
Do you have a preference?
I've always preferred Pike over
Yeah, well, number one.
anybody else. And these guys here are probably gonna be perfectly fine,
Yep.
but I'm wondering maybe give them some time.
Give them a year.
Give me a year to
Work
get
their
it.
bugs out.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not gonna have it.
Okay. Well, somebody else will find out.
Well, these towns that had it done, I don't know what they used for mix for them. They didn't use their own, because they didn't have the plant up.
Right, because it's somebody else.
Whitcomb or Pike's mix.
Thank you.
Trouble with that stuff, it's 5, 6, 7 years down the road before you start to
Where's
see
the number on it?
the mix being a problem. The workmanship obviously is good, because they did a really good job. You'll see that immediately, but it's right down the road, it's when you start seeing the mix starting to crumble, because, I don't know, something to do with Whitcomb's. They're stoned really hard, and they have to add an additive to the mix to get the tire to stick to the stone, and I don't know if they sometimes use a little less of it, and it seems like it's coming done for us.
Pike, you feel comfortable they'll do it in the time you want it done?
Yeah, they called today actually, and I told them that would be tonight, we'd probably be making a decision, and they said they would hold their price for this whole entire year. The price went
So
down.
last time you were saying July, they usually change them or something on you?
Yeah, well, any of these companies could, because if you notice in here, they'll say they reserve the right to, it's called AC price adjustment, and the state is the one that kind of allows them, that sets that price adjustment for liquid asphalt, and if it goes up, then they can go up, even though you've signed a contract. It's called force majeure
But,
determinations.
and Pike said they would hold it.
That's what they told me today verbally, and the guy I talked with isn't the guy I normally deal with, is a new guy, because the guy I normally deal with just retired. And he was gonna talk to his boss, but he said, I know that we will hold that price for the year. And I said, well, are you sure you're gonna get the paving done this year? I don't wanna come September, October time and say, oh, we can't do it, you're gonna have to do it next year, and then the price
And the
does
price
go
goes
up.
up.
They said no, that they would get it done this year for that price.
Okay,
I think that sounds good.
yeah, go with it.
So you got a motion?
I'll move.
A second.
What are we moving to?
So,
I'm going with Pike Industries for the paving project.
Which is on Duffy Hill. Existing pavement already, just shim and overlay existing pavement.
so all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So pass.
People on Duffy Hill are gonna be doing a jig.
All right, we got one driveway.
Yep. Driveway permit application, I don't have a culvert in its, or wherever they need, I know where it is, but I haven't been to actually see if they need a culvert or not, but I will sometime along.
How'd we turn out with the one up on Philly Road?
They're still working on that, I think DRB's dealing with them now.
What?
Okay.
Who?
The East Berkshire Water
Reservoir or whatever.
Reservoir.
Oh, not this DRB.
Yes, they
What?
Yeah,
will have to come to you guys.
Oh, but they haven't yet.
Right.
they haven't yet.
I don't
Yeah.
even know what you're
Did you
talking
go back
about.
to your recommendations of
Yeah, I told them we kinda wanted to go with the
better visit?
spot with the
visual?
Oh,
most
is that-
visibility, and
was
they
in
said,
the
okay,
minutes?
yeah, and, he called, left a message the other day saying that they're up there doing some surveying and gonna survey out, map out the road where it was gonna be, and then also where now it's gonna be,
Where did I see it?
something to do with
Right away?
Yep,
Yeah.
some work that they had to do for the DRB, so.
Missing some things in there.
I don't even know. Is it, and it's not in Berkshire, it's in Enosburgh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Cause it was talked about at the last meeting that the right of way used
I
to go
saw
up
that.
his driveway. Doug Watson's driveway,
Yeah, I
and now
saw
it's gonna
that.
go to the other side of his
Yeah,
place.
it hasn't come before the DRB at all.
And then they were talking that, well, geez, they need to do more than just a curb cut, they gotta do some other stuff, so.
And it's only gonna access one place.
Yeah, that's the water reservoir, which is
It's the
East
Berkshire
Berkshire's
water.
water reservoir, which is
Right.
on the hill behind Doug Watson's.
Right.
They're
It's like
redoing that.
Oldest, like down? Wait.
No, right behind Doug's house.
Oh,
Doug's right on
the pavement part of Curly Road, right?
yeah, he's right on the Enosburgh Berkshire line,
Line,
just
right.
barely in Enosburgh.
Yep, okay.
Where Bob Bureau goes across the road.
Right. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
Well, they haven't come here and made an application yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So that's that on that one. So if you feel comfortable signing, this one's on Enosburgh Mountain though, on the backside, on what we call the new part, the part we did rebuilt here quite a few years ago now. They've got a driveway there already that, I don't know if they got a camp down in there or a camper.
That's a cell phone, Peter.
This one off to, excuse me, coming from Montgomery, up over off to the left.
Yeah, yeah, just before you get to, the sugar building there, the sack building of,
Yeah.
Mayo,
Yeah.
on the left. Scott Mueller works for the village of Swan, I don't know if you know him.
No?
He's got a,
I emailed him.
like I said, it's a driveway there already, it's kind of grass, they just drive in there. They plow it out in winter time and they go, whatever, snowmobiling, or whatever they do there.
I
He
wondered
wants to build, he's gonna
afterwards
build a
if
house there, so I'm sure he'll be seeing a, Angie will be seeing a,
I know, but I think it's, no,
Permit for
I
that.
think it's
Yeah.
Montgomery
Okay.
Village or something. I don't know.
So you don't see any issues with it?
I don't, no, I know where it is, I haven't been there to
He gave us
see
the first-
whether he needs a culvert or not, I almost think he doesn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of at the high point where the water can go
Go
both
both
ways.
ways.
He got it, thankfully.
I don't think it's gonna be a big deal.
Okay.
Billy Joe the check, so if you could sign this page
Okay.
and
Oh, the warrants here.
just like the,
Oh, no, that's all right, oh, they're right here.
You would have
Read
to
it.
contact the
Do you date it?
village for the operas.
Do you date it or do I date it?
either one. What's that, the notice to proceed
Application
for
approval to
today?
proceed issue.
Yeah, today's date, right?
They
Um,
can help in the next 2 weeks.
variance, oh no, waiver for setback was granted. Did Stephanie tell you that?
Yeah, I see
Okay.
some email or something about it, and it was done.
Mm-hmm.
Do that today. Alright,
Anything else?
yep. You know the water quality money we got last, or we haven't gotten yet, actually, for work to do last fall, and we still gotta finish some within the next month
Mm-hmm.
for the hydrologically connected road segments.
Yeah.
And we did some work down on Long Ridge Road, still got some more to do. Well, they're doing that again. They need, it's called the Municipal Roads Grants in Need Program. So they got two things. They got, and this is a letter of intent for you guys to sign if you wanna participate in purchasing a piece of
Okay.
equipment to help
Yeah. We could have it go ahead
maintain
last week.
these ditches and
Would we
stuff,
have
and
had time to fit it in maybe?
hydro seeder happens to be one of
I
them.
was gonna say a cedar. That was like the, were you at, yeah, the
They'll
soils
pay
thing,
80% of
right?
it, so I called the guy that we're gonna get it from, told him hold off, don't give us an invoice yet.
Okay.
So that's one thing, is the equipment, if we wanna participate.
Mm-hmm.
There's the whole
No kidding.
deal about it, sign here.
When will we know if, when we get that? Or is that guaranteed?
Oh, I don't know if there's a date here. I don't know if that's 100% guaranteed. You never know.
Right.
They could decide to do something different with the money before you get it, but
We are in Franklin County though, we must love us.
I think it's
Water quality?
pretty much gonna happen.
Yeah.
We got a due date? When we hear from them?
When we will know from them?
Yeah.
Oh, probably. I haven't even read
2
this in
years.
detail, but
2.5.
So that one goes very quick.
That's weird.
yeah. Along with this too, we got to give them $240 for administration work. Remember the municipal roads permit they were gonna have to purchase in July?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not asking for the whole amount right now, but $240 administration fee. That's talked about in here, along
Okay.
with this. And that's gotta be done by July 31st. Maybe you wanna read it. There's some more dates. And then they've got the same exact thing for some more road work. Same thing to sign if you wanna participate. We're eligible for, their base offer is 17,500. And that is,
So in a sense, we're gonna need a motion for, one of the, part of that, but then the other part, we won't need a motion on it, right? For the payment? For the advance payment? Well, no, because we already had a motion for it, way back. We said we were gonna do it.
To get to Cedar?
No, not the
No.
Cedar, the,
I guess if you wanna make it, seems like you're gonna sign it, if you wanna
Yeah.
make a motion to participate in this. I don't remember
I don't
that.
think we need a motion on it, do
Yeah,
we? Do?
yeah, we're telling him to go ahead and,
It's called the Municipal Roads
yeah,
Grants and Aid
to
Program
apply for
equipment.
a grant. And it does say that the whole project has to be completed by June 30th, 2019. Or anything purchased, I guess, so it would have to be soon.
And it's a reimbursement thing, just like all the
Okay.
others.
Okay.
We're gonna seed the snow.
Do we all have to sign this or just Pierre?
They give you only, I guess they give you 3 lines.
Oh, there's 3 of us, so hot dog.
Hard luck.
Could each have a line.
So I move to apply for the grant and need, municipal grant and need program.
That's an 80% reimbursement, and this is as well for the.
Oh.
for the
Does that
road
say,
Should we do
does
them
that say
together?
equipment purchase, or does it say
No,
something different?
No, this is,
This is a grant and need program, equipment purchase.
yeah, this is
Okay.
municipal letter of intent to participate in the municipal roads grants in aid program. Doesn't, this is
that
the
the
road
same?
work.
Oh, that's the road work.
This
This
is
Right.
is for the equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
why
all
don't we
those-
lump them together? So I move to participate in the grant in aid program for the equipment purchase and the grant and aid program for the road work.
God, you're so efficient.
I'll second it.
So it's been moved and seconded that we approve both grants. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So passed.
And I think that's it.
Were you gonna do the, what was the road work were you thinking?
No, there's some on Stonehouse Road, I think
Yeah.
is, you gotta pick sections that are in this hydrologically
Right.
connected segments, and I'd have to look, see where some of them are, but it's on a hill near a stream, within
So-
100 feet of a stream.
Check.
Which is a lot of places. but
Yeah.
We've got more to finish on along the Bridge Hill for last year's money,
I think that'd be a big one, that hill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and then I've got a big Better Back Roads grant to pick up where that left off and dig the ditches and stone line to the bottom of the next hill. So I can probably get some other spots in under this here, and then that might not be enough to get the
Um,
whole 17,000,
What was an
but
issue
there's some
last
other
year? Was
places
that
in
messing
Stonehouse
with the
Road in the hill
Okay.
But that one-
below
this guy-
the Stonehouse.
Mhm.
That ditch needs to be cleaned out, and at that, we're gonna have to stone line it when we do it, following our road standards, so
Right.
we can get this to pay for doing it
Good.
80%.
Bob,
Alrighty.
And there's some other places, if that's not enough to
US.
get the full amount of money either.
Did Billy Joe ever send you that sheet for the guys to sign
Like that.
for the personnel policy?
No,
Oh,
How did that,
for the cell phone.
Oh, the sheet?
We did.
they did the cell phone one, but the other one, I couldn't find it in my,
in your documents? I'll look and see if I have it.
but no, they did sign the cell phone.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's all signed and they've got a
Did
copy.
you look at
Wait a
the
minute.
old ones?
Didn't, look at- I don't think my computer.
What was that? Not to use your cell phones or your
Don't we
driving?
have them in a file? In the
You don't have
file?
service anyways, right?
Yeah,
Employee
Yeah,
file?
No,
it's-
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really
yeah.
have service.
not most places.
I haven't done
Okay.
anything with sprinkler.
You have to
I
stop
was
because
totally
if you
gonna
keep moving, you're not gonna have service on your bill.
I didn't.
Yeah, exactly, right.
I'm just gonna.
Require you to pull over.
Okay.
Unless you're downtown.
Did that tower ever show up? Didn't Phil Parent put up a tower? But it's, I haven't seen it.
I don't know.
We happy? We good?
Yep.
For now?
Alright.
Super.
Yes, I think that's all I had. Those three things.
So you,
Sounds
And I
good.
guess we got some work at the Opera House to tend to this week.
Yeah, did you wanna stick around for that conversation?
keep in contact?
He's
Probably
not
should.
leaving yet.
Yeah, okay, so it sounds like you are sticking around for that conversation.
You're not leaving yet. You're
Yes, I'm
getting out of here,
sticking
you know. Not yet.
Run,
I'll
Joey.
just shove over. I'll just shove over.
So, we've had a lot of fun over at the Opera House. Do you have Jesse's mailing address? That's the
I've already given him the information.
the new one?
We're leaning to one.
The one we talked about the last time when we acted and got out the new big
Did you get the
package.
FEMA's guy email?
The one that you sent out by email, yeah, I already sent it to him.
Okay.
But I'll hold on to this, double check with him.
The insurance policy, which is this, I sent him
166.
last year's.
So the very first thing is the sewer
Last
issue.
year's is
They
right.
done the,
And we've had lots of fun. And they did come through. I need you, Billy Joe, for part of this. She went with Drumac. They
Joey
came
and I were there.
through. They went through with a camera. They did find a break out underneath the driveway, maybe.
Yeah, between that building and the driveway, the driveway towards Ryan's.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a clean out that comes above the surface there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's, the fittings come apart. I assume probably the frost got a hold of that plate, pulled it up at some time, and he said there's a bunch of rocks
Okay,
and dirt and
going
pipe.
into it.
So it backed up at the prom.
I heard.
And I worried about it. I don't know why I mentioned it to Lynch, and Lynch, boom, got hold of what's his name over at the Legion, and he got the Legion a lot, so they were
Right.
able to
Use the bathroom.
use the bathroom. So I need to send out a thank you to the Legion. So they went pretty good with it. Their kids were easygoing, but they were gonna send a sketch, right, showing where all the pipes are, so we would have it
Yeah,
from.
and I can call Joanne tomorrow and see if they have it.
Yeah, make sure they follow up with that so we have it and we don't continually try to recollect. At the same time, Gary Denton came over at one point and we did talk about the wet spot on the other side of the building. And he talked to Doreen's husband, Kenny, the plant, and they've dug it up before because there's this like
Spring.
constant wet place.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's an abandoned drainage pipe from that property behind us that comes out of that agricultural field and then just got abandoned, so the water continues to go through that pipe and come down onto our
Water
property.
from the village out into that pipe?
And it's like,
No.
it's drainage.
It's just
tile,
drainage but
Drainage
tile.
tile,
Okay.
yeah.
And it stops on our property, and it
Oh,
doesn't go
okay.
anywhere.
Doesn't
I
go
gotcha.
anywhere but pools.
Through the Opera House. Huh?
Well,
No, it's on you. But the-
Kinda, sorta.
So
I'm
that's not,
wondering
that's
how
not a
much-
spring anymore? Or that's not, because we thought it was a spring
no,
a couple
Yeah.
years ago.
no. He said they've dug it up a couple times because I can remember complaining about it way back when. And Billy
Yeah.
Joe's like, it's so freaking dry right now. It should not be like this.
Yeah.
So we got that question answered. What we do with that's another whole thing. But so the sewer, we've got dairy pageant coming up, and Gary Dent was ready to jump in and help, and then Billy Joe, Jonathan's like, nope, nope, nope. Send a letter, formal letter asking for our help, and then we'll decide and put it on the trustees meeting, which is tomorrow night, which I'm going to that as well, for various reasons. But Gary, apparently they opened it up this morning and said they'd love to help, but they don't have any time. Because they're getting ready for Dairy Day. Well, we need to get that ready for Dairy Day. There'll be 200 some odd plus people in there for the pageant. They said they'd lend the equipment to you guys if you would be able to do it.
Yeah. Well, it's not gonna take that long to do it. So.
No, I think we can get it done so we don't have to worry about.
He come back today, I think he kinda thought we were talking about the drainage.
Well, that's another issue
And
that
I
I'll
told
get to in
him
a
that, I
minute.
said, we need to fix what
Yeah.
we need to fix.
Right, first
Right.
things first is
So
sewer.
he said, I guess he stopped to the garage, I wasn't there, one of the guys said that he stopped. I'm supposed to call him tomorrow.
Okay,
So it sounds like they'll come over with their backhoe and one or two of us go down there too and together we'll dig it up, fix it. But
so my other question is, they saw a sag also in the pipe.
Yeah, well, they did,
Where
then
was
they
that?
didn't.
no, they didn't
I think
actually. They
They
thought they
said, yes,
did,
that one.
but what it was just a blockage so the water was held back.
Oh.
And when they come back with the camera, I wasn't there, but
Right.
when they came back with the camera, they said, no, actually, there wasn't a sag, it's all good
Okay,
to that point where the clean out is, that's the
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
so that should resolve it. What do we do so
Should.
that it, I mean, do we have to pack around that pipe with material so that when the frost moves next year, the year after, it doesn't affect? Like you
Should probably
do?
do something different there, put a sleeve around it, maybe a bigger piece of pipe so the frost can move that up and down and not get all of this
Can we
one.
do that to make sure?
Probably should do
I mean,
something.
this is not the first time we've had issues. I think before there was a crushed pipe and you guys replaced it. Maybe it was the old clay, I don't know.
Yeah, it's all
Um,
good SDR 35 now from the building
Okay,
out and then,
I'm thinking maybe just that extra step.
Or are you able to dig that up enough so that you can put a couple thicknesses of foam insulation?
you could do that too.
Just go down and get a 2x8 sheet of insulation and
Yeah,
cut it up and for what you need and
yeah.
stick that at the bottom.
Yeah, or just, just under the surface.
Yeah.
Right.
Couple
Well, yeah, but sticking under that pipe.
under it.
Yeah. Because in that way, it'll have to go around it. And then
Yeah, generally you want it on the top.
put another one on top.
Yeah, just under like a foot under the surface there, you could put a couple layers thick
Yep.
if you wanted.
So whatever, you know, I mean, if you can do a little
Okay.
bit of the extra mile to make sure it doesn't happen again
Right.
Next spring.
Next
next spring. It's been a while, but still,
That's if
it was
that's-
twice with the top.
Once we dig it up, you might find there's a different problem too. And there
Yeah.
might be, maybe the frost isn't what the cause of it was, maybe the thing just,
Yeah, I didn't know if maybe over time there's compaction that we
Right.
weren't taking into, whatever. So it sounds awesome, thank you. So it sounds like the sewer issue pageant will move ahead. I am going to talk with them a little bit about, if let's replay this scenario and we had a limited amount of time and they were able to have the time to do it, then really would like their trustees to give Jonathan, and maybe he already has it, but I'd like them to articulate that if we needed some help ASAP,
That he has like authority to do that.
that he would have authority to say, let's get it done and we'll figure it out later. I mean, it could have been a real time crunch. And we're talking about a jointly owned building. All the same taxpayer base is dealing with that should just, so I am gonna bring that up tomorrow.
Okay.
Then there is the drainage issue, which I think I'm just gonna keep coming back here. I'm gonna keep talking to people and coming up with a plan to address the drainage issue. And I don't know if it's gonna mean dealing with that abandoned tile pipe. I mean, that's gotta exacerbate. They
Any
had
kind
water
of
in there
drainage.
this year that wasn't sewage, flooded all the carpets, I'm sure is
Yep.
making an unhealthy environment, and at some point maybe we may just need to pull all those carpets up, but that doesn't, we still can't have water coming
Yeah,
in.
we still need to fix the
Yeah,
problem so it
exactly.
doesn't keep happening.
Yeah, so, someday I was talking to Doug Lacrosse, and he was like a drain around the footing,
Mm-hmm.
and pack around that and then cover it with fiber cloth so that the dirt and whatever, and then it just needs to go around the back and the two sides.
Right.
Where do they exit to drainage like that? Into the-
Must be the
That's what I was
I
wondering.
guess the storm drain.
It goes in
Yeah,
the
so
storm
it's a
drain,
storm
so
drain.
we
Is the storm
talked,
drain right in front of the?
it's,
That's-
Yeah, the storm
Oh,
drain is
down,
on that
yeah.
side of the street.
it's
The
on the,
sewer's on the other side.
By the
By the
parking
building.
lot.
by the parking lot, because the
Yeah.
other one, the one by the driveway, remember it ends and it goes the other way. It goes down toward Bates. And it's, but then he said, you know, he was worried about the pitch, but I think once, if we all got together and figured it out, that could be done. But that is another project that I'm thinking, if they have the equipment, that this is a joint effort that we get done with the minimal amount of paying out.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
For it.
digging in the same areas for the sewer as you are for the drainage or not?
Yeah, I mean, to dig down for the clean out, I mean, take longer to do the drainage, obviously, than it will be just dig down to this clean out, but it's pretty much the
Same
same,
area.
pull it the same,
Is that-
it's on the, as you're facing the building, it's on the right-hand side of the buildings where the clean out is, and it's right, not too far from the foundation there, so.
And that area is more, well, no, we're still below grade. But that, when you walk in, that's it, there's nothing underneath, that
Right,
slab
that's
is
the
where you're
cellar,
at.
basically, that's
Yeah.
the basement level.
I've had, just to update you on other things, we had Sunray and Mammoth come and they did all their work, they did their cleaning. The difference in the inspection, he presumed, which we could talk about with the main office, was the time it took to inspect it. It's because there's no materials charge in the inspections, it's all labor, so it took longer to do that. They did decide that the elevator is not in compliance because it doesn't have a fire recall, but they didn't shut us down. And I went to Schindler. Nobody replied to my request for bids. I finally was dealing with Schindler because of that last issue, and I said, listen, I've been trying to get somebody to respond. They said, okay, we'll respond, and they did. So here's a copy of their maintenance thing, and I was gonna call them and say, hey, can you backdate and include some of this work in there, and if you do, then definitely we go with you. If not, I think I should still be asking. The price is
$23.40
$23.40 for the
40.
year.
annual installments. How many years? Just
It can go as
It can go
long-
to just a year.
Until you have to
100
terminate 90 days before the renewal date, which would
Okay.
be August 31st of 2019.
$195 a month. Payable in annual installments of $23.40.
Unless other payment
And so what does that do?
frequencies.
That's just a maintenance agreement, so they come and fix it?
So he said, if you had that in place, that's what I need to get the details on, and I will get that to you. I don't expect an answer on this tonight.
Okay.
I just did get that the other day, and there's a few other companies I wanted to deal with to see if I could get them. And it was Bay State and Otis, because they all have elevators in town. So that's that thing. So trying for that, but we do need to get them and need to come and do the fire recall, and we discovered that the sprinkler system hasn't been inspected since 2009. So I'm gonna make some calls on who can come and do that. A lot of this is catch-up, because
Yeah.
apparently they don't come to us and say, hey,
It's time.
it's time. I mean, some of them do, but apparently some of them don't. So some of them got, so we'll have a checklist and make sure that, but a lot of this is catch-up. It's a lot of all at once, but things that weren't done. The batteries were almost to the point where the system wasn't gonna work. So that got done. I think that bill must have been around $500 or so. And that was a big important piece. After we get the water corrected, then I think we need to look at, little by little, pulling off the sheetrock in the 2 dressing rooms. Probably that back stairwell, I know the back stairwell has issues. And cleaning out old insulation that may be and replacing it, or spray foaming and then putting fresh sheetrock on so that it's, the green room's been done, hopefully that's held, and we'll just, that back side is the immediate thing, and then move forward.
Okay.
Heat's been turned off.
As far as I know, I have not checked it.
I did.
Okay. Front hall's been painted,
Nice.
really
And the
nice
thing
job.
is that we should get better lighting in that front hall. That's terrible.
Well, I think it is terrible, and I think we should look at Efficiency Vermont and just look at the lighting per se for them, and just see what we can get. I know I did some down at the storage units, and they literally paid me half of what I
Put it
paid.
in, yeah, exactly.
So I agree, they're really bad.
It's just, you know.
Yeah,
It's like a
This is-
dungeon.
it's like a dungeon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I bought
light
an
bulbs are missing.
an LED light like that for the ticket booth room, and Chris is gonna hitch it up so that you can turn it on with the switch versus having to get up there and flick the thing. But that makes a big difference, and that's easily done in the little rooms. But those can lights that are up there, they're funky anyways, and they're not good. Trying to think what else is. So there's inspection. There's I'm meeting somebody Thursday at 9:30 to inspect the building, but it might be the insurance that we carry, the Friends of the Opera House carry. I don't know why they need to do that
An
though for
inspection.
workers' comp, and what, I don't understand that. Unless they want to look to see if there's trip hazards or something.
Right.
But they asked me, what kind of sprinkler system do you have?
Oh, so maybe
So-
they're doing a general assessment?
Our people aren't coming to
Our
the
people
so I
are
know
coming.
it's not them.
So they're not so I don't know. So I'll find out, but I'll be there on Thursday. That he won't go by himself. I'll be there. And then Billy Joe's going to the one on the 31st.
Okay.
Water, sewer,
Water. It's
electric,
always water and sewer. Every time.
elevator, sprinkler,
Paint.
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 Thank you. So paint. So got everything out. Pierre got the last one that I didn't know had gone out, and they went out to J.A. Roberts, Duso, Northern Vermont, painting in Jeffersonville, Dana, Kluba, Champlain Valley Painting and Remodeling, True Line Painters in Swanton, Jesse Goway. So we got a bunch out there. Dana said definitely he would be submitting something, and I think it says when do they do? 31st.
That's May, okay.
And then
Good.
your next meeting is that following Tuesday?
Monday.
Monday? Right, Monday, 4th of
Yeah.
June. I will be here and we can open them up and hopefully quickly move ahead so that they
Exactly.
have time to plan. It might be the fall till they get there, but so they have time to plan and work it in their schedule. There is no grants really out there for painting that I can find. If I can find grants for other stuff, but I think if we break it into 4, then we should be good, and hopefully we'll deplete the 30,000 line before we go to the other money.
Right. You know, I was even just talking to Dana about it because he was saying, because he's painted it a bunch of times before, he was saying that that front part is so big and the back side's not. You could almost maybe do 2 sides for the price of one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Well-
instead of doing like one for over 4 years, you maybe could do it over 3 years, 2 sides, 1 and 1, or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be something to talk about with whoever
There might be grant potential for the repair work.
Oh, right.
And
Top
I did go over, we had a lady from Lisa from Preservation Vermont came over to the Masons Hall, and I did talk to her, and she's suggesting you guys do the Sensible grant, which we've already done for the Opera House, which it just lays out what needs to be done, and I did it on purpose so that when I talked to her about the Opera House, she'd remember me. So, I'm gonna follow up with that and see if, that we can
Good.
get some help, so.
Yeah, good.
I think that's it. I know I mean, something in my head, but I don't know what it was. I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
So you'll see me again. I won't be gone. We need to get that drainage done. And I think it's also a big, it shows a big need of having, I think, someone you have who actually has a checklist and maintains everything on all your buildings. You own multiple buildings. And depending who's involved with what building, Billy Joe's not a construction person, or
I
an
only
electrician,
pretend to be.
or a plumber, and it's hit or miss. I really think at some point there should be some thought into, and maybe it could
Building
be
management.
building, and it could be like, I don't know, 10 hours a month, come in and go
Just
through
go
and
through all the buildings.
do what needs to be done, fix that doorknob, fix that
Fix the
Yeah,
little
there's your
things before
retirement
they.
job.
Little
leaking
things before they
toilet
get
flusher,
bigger.
Yeah.
Doug Lacrosse went in and did something to the men's urinal, it was going too fast, there's this little thing you open and it turns down the water pressure, and now it's fine because it would flood and.
Right.
So it was a bidet for men.
It was a bidet for men. It's no longer a bidet for men now. It's just a plain old urinal. So, you know, and
Where's the fun in that?
somebody like that, and you just come in and whatever. But I'm planting the seed.
Nice. Alright.
That's all I have.
So like that drainage around the outside, where do we go with that, Joey? So that we take care of it before another spring. Do you have ideas or thoughts? Kind
We're
of.
going storm drain, right?
Yeah, it's find out where it is now and replace it.
Well, the thing is
Actually
that-
goes in the storm drain somewhere, and
And he okayed that to happen, to tie into the storm drain.
Yeah.
Remember when he was-
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He was fine with it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that back when they renovated that place, there should be information.
Well, I think Reggie did the drainage, and his widow has said she's seen paperwork, but she has no idea where it is at this point.
But
And
we should have something here. No?
Have one.
the other thing I
Okay.
could not find there was an as-built plans because I remember seeing them, and they're not there anymore. And I don't know if Gary Atherton at one point said I better take these and have them down at the office. But I don't know if anybody knows about that down there. I'll do that. But the seed I'll plant tomorrow night is that work around the drainage. It needs to be a combined effort. And then I don't know legally, what do you do about abandoned tile that's then draining on somebody else's property? I mean, that's Cliff
Grab
and
it,
Sally
turn it
Wright's
into-
property now,
Grab
I
it,
think.
turn it in the storm drain.
yeah, probably could tie that together.
It's not really abandoned, they knew where they
Yeah.
just didn't want it on theirs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted theirs to be dry.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
you could tie that all together and run that right in the storm drain too. Once
Yeah.
find it, whatever it is, and
It creates a spot where I know that the guy you've got mowing, Phil,
Mhm.
stopped in and it's like, I can't mow right over that area. I mean, it's like really wet, something's leaking. I'm like, no, it's always like that. And so he avoids that area.
Yeah, I should take
So it
it.
definitely has to.
and that's like on the left
One was
side.
in your basement.
Yeah, it's on the left side of the
I
building.
think
It's
so.
Has to.
Oh, the left side?
yeah. It's
Oh.
if you
So
stand,
they're
if you stand
facing
facing
it.
the
Yeah.
boat to the left side where
Yeah.
the cedars are, and if
Yeah.
you there was
Gotcha.
that spot. And
The other thing is though, like if we do have a wet season, you can actually see water bubbling up through
Bubbling
the
up like a
cracks in the
spring.
slab.
Wow.
In the furnace room, there'll be little.
That's my basement. Used to be.
yeah, but that's
The
further
Jeff
down.
Lawyer dug
That's
in.
further down, but I think the drainage would help that still, because if it hits it and goes down, I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah. Well,
okay, ready?
Sounds good. Thank you much.
Bye.
Susie?
super.
Thanks, Joey.
Yep. You're welcome. Just gotta make some copies.
I think there's one thing that,
Just saw her.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was supposed to, see where there's a big space right there?
Mhm.
That's what it was supposed to be around the fence when I talked to Dean about this morning. And when I was adding stuff, I must have accidentally.
Yeah, because you mentioned it today. Okay. Do you want to tell her to come in?
Going up today, look at it.
Is it been fixed or not been fixed?
Lincoln Logs? Hi.
Yes, yeah.
Hi, Margaret. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Grab a seat.
Margaret.
Hi.
So yeah, I was just saying, I went up and checked the fence out today and it's up and fixed. It's gonna be hard to keep electricity on it just cause there's so much stuff, but was up and fixed and I mean, I couldn't get my tester to work, but it would snap on the ground and stuff, so there was juice on it.
Okay. Just to let the public know, Margaret Pinko is here representing Larry Benoit on a situation on Stonehouse Road. And it has to do with fencing and keeping animals in.
Has the gate made it over there? The gate in question, did that ever make it over there?
Or, I don't know, but it's not up, but he has a double electric fence across there,
Okay. Should work.
which should work. It's the same as it does everywhere else, it should work.
Well, let's
Is that electric fence new, or has that been up
It's
the
all
whole time?
It's been repaired and stuff.
Recently?
Yeah.
Don't know, I think Tim,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
so let's let Margaret tell us what she's done.
Okay.
Or, hi. What would you like to fill us in on?
Just want to let you know about the fence. We've been working on that, and we've been cleaning up, so we're making progress in that area.
It does look a lot better. I noticed around the trailer and the house, it's quite a bit cleaner.
And then, have you visited with the neighbors any? Just out of curiosity, no? Or they haven't,
Like which neighbors?
just in general? Okay. They haven't come down and said, looks good, or situation's been,
No, I haven't talked to anybody
okay.
up there. So,
Do you know, have animals been back up to either of the neighbors that you know of, Marguerite, recently?
which neighbor? Has anybody been up there, you mean?
Yeah, and either, are the animals, have they had any complaints lately?
No,
No.
not that I know. I haven't
Yeah.
heard anything.
Okay.
Okay.
So, nobody has said anything to me about
Yeah.
any animals. So,
So then we won't have to go up and we won't have to go up and investigate.
no, I
Okay.
don't think so. I think everything's good.
They look pretty content.
Yeah. Now you were saying that it might be hard to hold juice. Is it because the grass is like?
Well,
why?
it's just, when you get the electric wire running close to old barbed wire, it's hard
Yeah,
to keep it from getting tangled up in places and stuff,
I see what you're saying.
but
Okay.
it's not impossible, it's just a challenge.
Right. No, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I know, I was playing with it today, and I don't know if it's my tester or what, but the fencer was working.
Did you touch it?
And actually, I did with the old-fashioned way with a piece of grass.
Yeah,
There was-
exactly, to see
there
if
was
you could
juice
juice
there.
on it?
There's
Okay.
not a lot, but there was some.
Okay.
Should
Have to keep
work.
an account.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you and your husband have been helping Larry?
What's that?
You and your husband have been helping Larry?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So we've been up there. Tim's been on the fence, and I get to do trash.
Yeah, like you. Exactly. Always the way. Okay, great.
Well, super.
Anything else?
No.
No, you just want to fill us in?
Yeah.
Okay,
I just
thank
wanted
you.
to update you and let you know. what's
Thank
going
you very much.
on. Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
All right.
Ready to go?
Oh, yep.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Henry.
Okay, so,
I got a 7:05.
Okay, I'll see you later.
yes.
Julie.
Thank you.
I spoke too soon at the BRB meeting. I was like, oh, we're going to be out of here in no time. 9:30. Have a seat.
Uh-oh, is this the electric chair?
That depends.
Well, you have the letters in front of you?
So on this right here, this gentleman that just walked in, that's Henry Newberg. He's our health officer for the community. And we are going to have,
So what's up?
to get into an executive session.
Do we need to know an executive? Okay, so I move to go into executive session at this point at 7:05.
Second it.
So, it's been moved and seconded that we go into executive session.